Hey folks, you are tuned into Chaotic TV. We're bringing you another, the final game of this best of 5 between these two players. The series is tied 2-2. Let's see who wins. On Ohana, we have in the bottom right position the Blue Zerg playing for Team Liquid. He is the little one, TLO.
And his opponent, once again, is the red Protoss player from MouseSports, the hometown favorite here at IEM Katowice. This is MouseSports MaNa.
Try a little bit of camera work right there. Wasn't exactly sure on the buttons, so we're just going to have to go with it. We see the forward pylon of MaNa again. I'm really not expecting any kind of different opening from these players. They've already established that they do their thing and respect each other enough to get up to a macro game and see what really happens.
Pretty sure the buttons are looking for insert and delete.
Yep, but the page down and end for me, or I guess it's home and end for the zoom in, as well as insert and delete for the turning. But we'll figure that out in future casts. Really nothing to talk about. I've actually enjoyed casting all of these games, although I'm a little disappointed at their lack of variety. I kind of touched on it, but I didn't say it outright in the last game, but I do like variety.
The last game did have a nice surprise text switch to Colossus, just was super effective.
Okay, so we saw some variety after the opening, but there's no different opening. Usually watching players like Marine King or MC, you see some differences, especially Stefano. Some of the most well-known players have these kind of different openings, and it might actually lend something to their notoriety that they can.
Well, it's been said that Stefano can do anything that he wants to win, so there's that.
Let me ask you this, Eclipse, since we've got time and we know what these players are going to do. We're going to see a 3-hatch out of TLO and a 2-base wall-off from MaNa. Are you a player that practices a build over and over and over against the computer, just making sure your timings are correct, and then take it to the ladder? Or are you a player that kind of has a composition you want to go for, and you kind of know the ideal way to get there, but you're not exactly sure, so you kind of just keep trying stuff until you find the right way to get to that composition, but you keep changing every game. So
I found that if I do sit and hammer out a build order and get everything down to the second, that as soon as something happens to me in the game and I get like cheesed or something, it'll just completely throw me off and I won't know what I'm doing anymore. So I find it better for me to have an idea what I want to do and just kind of be reactive as to what I see.
I'm actually much in the same boat. If I nail down something build order wise, then I get distracted by even the mildest things like good luck, have fun. If somebody says something different, like hey, how are you, or the response that I get from my hey, have fun, which is usually F you, from all those negative people out there, it'll throw me off enough that my build order is to crap and we're not even out through the first minute. So I just have a composition I want to go through. If I'm Zerg, sometimes it's the Roach Hydra Infester mix against a Protoss, or if it's against Terran, it's Mutilating Bane or something like that, and I'll just get to that however way I can and hope to stay alive long enough to do so. So I am in your same boat, which usually makes practicing against you something of a strange effect. When we're both on our game and we're kind of even up, it's always very exciting games that one wrong decision makes us lose. But now we're actually no gases still for TLO. This is something different that we've seen before. Usually he drops a third gas, or the gas is right after his third is planted, and we haven't seen any yet. So I'm curious as to what TLO is actually going to be doing here. Now the gases are down, but they're far later than we've seen in previous games. MaNa's got 2 of his own gases going right now, and he's we see a robo facility coming out, which is actually earlier than the extra gateways we've seen in 2 of his games so far. So there's a little bit of variation I was asking about, but it is over 5 minutes into the game. A Ro12 coming out for TLO. Probably going to see him go for kind of a roach into something else because he's not getting those double Evo chambers we saw in the last game. Decided that was not going to work for him again, and the upgrades continue for TLO, taking the lead in the harvesters by 3 only on 2 bases versus the... Actually, it's probably because he's building so many Zerglings to defeat these pesky, annoying, destructive rocks right here. TLO going for his gases 3 and 4, and some... actually, a Citadel Twilight Council coming out right now, and there's those gateways I mentioned. Twilight Council is coming out in the back of the base, going to be able to continue this upgrade into level 2 directly after level 1 finishes on the ground weapons, and some Zerglings are moving across the map, but they're not fast yet. Yeah,
these Zerglings I can't really explain. I can't think of a good reason why they were made. There's not enough to really break down a wall or anything like that. But I don't know. I guess he just wanted to be safe or get some early map control or something like that.
I suppose. Maybe he decided that he just wanted to take that Xel'Naga tower. He actually probably noticed that they weren't fast yet, and he was like, oh crap, let me build some Zergling speed, because he started it right as they reset Xel'Naga Watchtower.
Oh, he has been making metabolic speed really late. You only really make it super early if you're doing some kind of an attack with the Zerglings, where they need to cross the map. You can defend fairly well with Slowlings, unless it's against something, you know, faster than them. Hellions, off creep, you need speed, or obviously more Speedlings, you'll need speed.
Let me just say that Immortals are so much better at killing off those rocks than Zerglings are. TLO is doing what he's done in all of his successful games so far. He's taking an early supply lead. Early is relative, of course, but we do indeed see a full wall-off by MaNa at his main entrance, and he's probably just going to be using the wide-open entrance of his third as his main front, and the ramp to the natural as a nice backup point. Some roaches are moving across the map right now. They're not going to be able to do anything, especially with these Immortals that are here, and the continual reproduction of those Immortals. Continuing just to be a scout. The metabolic boost. I almost said spooge. Finally finishes for TLO.
Wow.
Yeah. Where does the mind go?
It's one of those days, apparently.
It's one of those 4 in the morning type things. I don't know what time it is really.
And +2 attack finishes just now.
Oh, he tried to snipe it, but it's not going to happen.
Immortals are going to do 60 damage versus armored now. Every shot. Oh, goodness. That poor Roach. Oh, he sniped the forge.
He did get the forge, but not before the upgrade finished, and another forge is already being built in the main, next to that Citadel of Adun. Excuse me, Twilight Council. I don't know why I keep using Brood War type things.
I never played Brood War, so I don't have to worry about that one. I mean, I played it, but never enough to know all the buildings and what they do.
I played it until 2005, until I moved into playing Counter-Strike Source semi-professionally. We see actually a move across the map right now from MaNa. No, he pulls back to his Xel'Naga Watchtower. Some roaches, super speed
roaches. Died in a very bloody fashion.
These roaches have been spotted by that annoying little probe, and the repositioning of the forces of MaNa is going to deny the attack, but the warp-in of some zealots across the way are going to do a little bit of a damage, but they're going to be knocked out long before they ever take out this hatchery, and MaNa's continuing to make sure that all of his bases are covered.
TLO going up to 5 bases against 3 bases of the Protoss. If he can secure them. Wow, he just didn't like that cannon for some reason. He just killed his own cannon.
Probably just to be able to... Oh, I don't know where did he kill it?
Right at his third.
Oh, okay.
There was a cannon right where this army is sitting now. I think he just moved to the wrong spot and just clicked on a building.
I do that all the time. My army will lose a unit here and there just because I'm clicking instead of doing something more useful like clicking and then noticing when I should be hitting the attack button. The 4th is down for TLO, and he's going to start transferring some drones over there when his main starts losing some mineral patches. But the 3rd was actually attacked by 3 zealots and knocked out a number of workers, at least 2 or 3. Probably 4, I think, and the warp prison tries to move into the main, but there's a queen there just to keep poking at it. A huge amount of roachlings and a couple of banelings actually coming out from TLO, moving towards the front of MaNa's base, spotted by...
the banelings are all loaded up into Overlord, so that's going to be helpful against these sentries.
and against the Zealots, but these Immortals are going to take a little bit more killing to do in this big warp in of Stalkers. Look at how much stuff is dying from MaNa right now. Some great Failing drops.
All of the Zealots and all of the sentries.
If he just dropped a couple of Failings on those workers, the worker count killed is tied up right now. All of the Immortals are dead.
There goes the last of the Immortals. He's focusing the Colossus now, and you know, try to step forward and kill that. There it goes. And this attack might be too much for MaNa to handle.
The 2-0 Stalkers doing what they can against these Roaches, and the reinforcing Colossus does what it can.
Roaches in production to run across the map hands as well.
Oh man, those remaining Banelings ran straight up to that ramp into those clustered Stalkers and did enough damage to continue this Roach push forward. The Roaches are streaming across the map, as you mentioned, just moving right up into that natural base, and they're going to continue to push forward and try to snipe off the remaining army of MaNa. The supply count is over 100 in favor of TLO, and he continues the Roach reinforcement with 12 on the way. He's actually got a Spire coming in for, you know, I guess planning in case this push fails, but I don't think it's going to fail. I think he's just going to take the game right now.
Kind of a miracle hold by the hero Colossus, but I think that he's dancing.
A little bit of dancing Roaches, yeah. And we see the push finally up into these Stalkers. He doesn't care how many Roaches he loses. His bank is still enough that he can continue as much as his larva allows him, plus 1.
5 bases against 3, and there's the GG.
There's the GG. Katy Perry has left the game, as well as Todd, but TLO hasn't left yet, and there it goes. We're going to move into our next best of 5 in just a second. From Chaotic TV, I am KO.
This is Eclipse.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we're going to continue putting out great content for you. See you soon. Cheers.